A narcissist can't feel you. That's the part everyone gets right, and the part that makes this one so hard to see. Because the dark empath can. This one feels you perfectly, reads the room, reads your face, reads the exact thing you're afraid of before you've said a word, and then gently uses the map against you. There's no rage, no obvious cruelty, just someone who seems to understand you better than anyone ever has, whose warmth somehow always leaves you a little smaller than it found you. You have felt this. You just called it chemistry or intensity or finally being seen. You never called it what it was. I'm going to show you the dark empath as a real research profile, not a horoscope. What a team at Nottingham Trent actually found when they went looking for dark traits hiding inside empathy. The difference between the empathy that cares about you and the empathy that only maps you. 3 moves you'll recognize before I finish describing them. Mirrored warmth, the targeted wound, and the steer. And then the turn, the thing you can't unsee once you've seen it. Stay to the end, because I'm also going to tell you where this label does not belong and why the honest version of this is less frightening than the internet wants it to be. That part protects you more than the warning does. Start with the research because the popular version is louder than the truth. For years, the assumption was simple. Dark personalities lack empathy. Narcissism, Machiavellianism, psychopathy, the so-called dark triad, all defined by an inability to feel what you feel. Then in 2021, a group at Nottingham Trent University ran the numbers on nearly 1,000 people and found a group that broke the rule. High in dark traits and high in empathy at the same time. They called it the dark empath, about 1 in 5 of their sample. Here's the key. There are 2 kinds of empathy. Affective empathy is feeling your feeling. When you hurt, it hurts me. Cognitive empathy is different. It's knowing exactly what you think with no requirement to care. One is a heart, the other is a map. The dark empath keeps the map. So what does the map actually do? The first move is mirrored warmth. Early on, this person feels less like a stranger and more like a homecoming. They finish your sentences. They love the thing you were embarrassed to love. They're wounded by the things that wounded you. It is intoxicating, and that's the point. What feels like being deeply understood is often just being carefully studied. Cognitive empathy lets them read you fast and reflect you back at yourself, so that liking them feels like liking yourself. Nothing is being taken yet. A profile is being built, and the warmth is real enough to feel, which is exactly why you won't question where it's going. The second move is the targeted wound. Once the map is drawn, it gets used with precision. The dark empath doesn't scatter cruelty. They find the one place you're softest, the specific fear, the old shame, the need you've never said out loud, and they aim there. In the research, this profile scored higher than gentle people on indirect aggression, the quiet kind, guilt, exclusion, a joke that lands a little too close to the bone. As the lead author put it, they understand what you're thinking in order to predict you so they can control you. Manipulation by stealth. It rarely looks like an attack. It looks like the one person who knows you best gently pressing the one bruise only they were trusted to know about. The third move is the steer. This is where empathy stops being a mirror and becomes a set of controls. Because they can feel the temperature of the room, they can change it on purpose. Warmth arrives right when you're about to pull away. Coldness arrives right when you start to feel sure of yourself. You are being kept slightly off balance, always reaching, never quite arriving. And here's the defensive tell, the one thing to hold on to from all of this. Watch the ledger under the warmth. Real warmth is free. This warmth always seems to cost you something, a little more compliance, a little more doubt, a little more of the ground you were standing on. If the kindness keeps leaving you smaller, that is the steer. Now the turn. The part you can't unsee. Look at the 3 moves together. The mirror, the wound, the steer. Notice what powers all of them. It isn't a lack of empathy. It's empathy itself, pointed like an instrument instead of offered like a hand. The narcissist who can't feel you is limited. They keep missing, keep overplaying, keep showing you the edges of the mask. The dark empath doesn't miss because they're reading from the inside. That's why this one is harder, not louder, not more violent, harder to see. The very thing you'd use to rule someone out, look how well they understand me, is the thing running the whole operation. The understanding was never the safety. The understanding was the method. And now the part the internet skips. Dark empath is not a diagnosis. It's a research profile from one study and the work that followed. describing a cluster of traits in ordinary people, not a disorder in a manual. And here's the honest correction to the title I gave you. That same research found dark empaths were less aggressive than the classic dark triad. By raw harm, the cold one is likely more dangerous, not less. Deadlier doesn't mean they hurt you more. It means they're harder to spot and better aimed. More than that, having empathy is not a disorder. Being emotionally perceptive is not predatory. Most people who understand you quickly simply like you. Reading people well is a gift, not a warning sign. What you're learning to name is not sensitivity. It's a pattern, repeated, directional, where the understanding keeps getting spent against you. So how do you hold your ground? 3 moves. 1. Judge the trend, not the moment. Anyone can have a warm week or a cold one. What you're watching for is a direction. Does knowing you keep making you smaller? Write down how you feel after time together, not what was said. The feeling keeps a record, the words erase. 2. Slow the intimacy down. The steer needs speed, an early flood of understanding you feel you have to repay. You're allowed to let closeness earn itself over time. A person with nothing to steer will not mind the wait. 3. Keep your own map. This whole pattern needs you to outsource your read of reality to the person who understands you best. Keep other mirrors. Trust the eerie feeling the researchers themselves say to listen to. That's the dark empath, the mirror, the wound, the steer, and warmth that kept quietly sending you the bill. But there's a harder question underneath this one. Not how they read you. Why the reading felt so good that you ignored the cost. What made being understood by the wrong person feel safer than being alone with yourself. That isn't a flaw. That's a profile. And that's the next case. I'm Professor Cole. Tell me in the comments which of the 3 moves you recognized first. And if you'd rather read the pattern than be read by it, subscribe. I'll read the next one with you.